All right, let's keep talking some tech here. It's leading the market once again with Nvidia making highs, Taiwan Semi doing the same. Mike Smith joins us from Allspring Global Investments, Senior Portfolio Manager and head of the Growth Equity team. Mike, a good morning to have you here because growth equity is what's leading us again this morning. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
So tell me how you guys are looking at the AI trade versus general growth and where you can find maybe some potential outside some of the core AI stuff. But let's kind of start at the nucleus here, at the core of it. I mean, Nvidia's making highs again, so does that assume that our old winners from the first half of the year are going to come back to lead us?
You know, I think for us, being long-term investors and trying to follow, all of the secular growth themes, two things stand out. One, AI and NVIDIA in particular, that is the zeitgeist. And when so much focus is on one thing, we have two choices: stare at it and try to see things other people don't, or listen for the dog that isn't barking and look elsewhere. And I'm excited about the opportunities, frankly, to do both right now.
Okay. Looking at the leaders right now, I mean, AMD seems to have slipped behind a little bit, but is it worth going past NVIDIA, kind of down the rung into maybe some of the less appreciated plays?
I think so. AMD has about a 5% share of a $500 billion market that's still growing. And their share, I think, has significant upside, mainly for two reasons. One, I think the customers of NVIDIA don't want NVIDIA to run the table. And so spreading the love, if you will, to some of the other suppliers is in their best interest. Second, I think as AI transitions to what's next, which is away from training and toward inferencing, cost becomes a big issue. And I think many of NVIDIA's customers may look for cheaper opportunities to serve their customers and build their products and services.
When do you think we'll start to see that kick in? That's certainly what it seems is the logic. And then you've also got Lisa Su arguing that just from a pure computational standpoint, that computers built on their new tech is going to be just as good. Market's been kind of doubting it, though. What do you think is a timeline? Do they really need to make a big breakthrough or show some big purchases or risk getting left behind? How long do we give them?
I think fundamentally we focus on the next 1 to 3 years in our investments, and I think the market's good at seeing the future. So, NVIDIA has all the momentum right now, very likely to report another good quarter, and that carries them for the next 2, 3, 4 quarters. But the most important question for investors is what happens after that. And so I think as we get through the next 3 to 9 months, that's going to be the focus.
Looking at some of the non-AI stuff, take me through some of your guys' other picks, too, because I think a few of them are pretty interesting. Kind of healthcare related. Natera is one that you're bringing to my attention for the first time, which is a cancer-related diagnostics business. But it seems like there's a lot of reason to believe that there's plenty of growth in that market.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for all the hype around AI and all the focus, there's really amazing things going on elsewhere. Unfortunately, 10 million people a year die from cancer worldwide, and that's obviously way too many. And there are some innovative companies that are doing some amazing things to improve on those outcomes. In the diagnostic space, Natera is one of our favorites. And they have the opportunity to catch cancer earlier. They have the opportunity to catch recurrence earlier. And timing's everything in terms of treating cancer patients. So we're bullish on the growth opportunities for Natera.
Pretty amazing year, 200% rally. Take me through the expectations for the price. It seems like there's been quite a bit of valuation expansion, but also the market's rallied it on earnings 3 times. So what's that trade-off between cost of earnings and the actual profit growth that's happening?
Definitely have seen some multiple expansion this year, but I think off a fairly low starting point, and we still see relative opportunity in the multiple. But the big reason for the performance and what's going to carry it forward is the growth, and they have multi-growth vectors, which is what we look for. They're launching new tests, they're entering new geographies, and they're hiring more salespeople, and all of those things are combining for a very powerful growth trend.
Okay. Pretty amazing stock. Definitely one that we need to be watching a little bit more closely. Really good eyes on that, up 200%. Nothing to Nothing to complain about, even in a market that's done quite well. You also in Axon, which is I think many will know is another big winner on the year too. But the company behind the taser that's definitely expanded now a lot of different kind of use cases and products. It's a pretty interesting business the way this has grown throughout the years.
Yeah, you nailed it. The company formerly known as Taser has really diversified into a full suite of products, primarily driven by their software business, actually. And tying it back to the AI theme, we think public safety is one of the markets where you're really seeing strong early adoption. And when you think about the market Axon serves, about 18,000 law enforcement agencies, about 800,000 law enforcement officers. The number one goal is safety, and the number one cost is labor. And the solutions that Axon is bringing to the table, are an improvement for both.
All right. Pretty big move also to the upside. How, when you get these big growth winners, do you handle taking profits and monitoring and kind of gauging the exposure in the fund to the trades for those that are kind of watching, sitting on big gains for these? How do you handle that, Mike? How do you figure out when's the right time to take profits on your views?
We take an incremental approach and we rebalance our portfolio when the market presents those opportunities. And then I think the biggest thing is what you alluded to earlier, just trying to match the stock price trend with the trend in the business. And the benefit I have with my team and our approach is we invest in companies that grow, and the underlying growth of the businesses that we've invested in oftentimes is keeping pace with those strong moves that you're seeing in the stock prices.
Good stuff. Great picks. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, a couple big winners there to watch in the growth category, and hopes for AMD to still play a big role in AI. Mike Smith joining us from Allspring Global Investment.